vibe session is definitely going to be one for the books. But first, let's do some housekeeping. So if you're just tuning in, make sure you like, share, comment. We want full engagement on tonight. We have two lovely ladies who's joining us, and they have some stuff to share. But we definitely want to acknowledge our bishop, Bishop William E. McMillan Jr., who is the set gift of this house. And we also want to give it up for our First Lady, Evangelist Hope McMillan, the visionary of the vibe. Put your clap hand emojis in the comments. We definitely want to celebrate her. So this year, the top of the year when we first started our season 2 of the vibe, we mentioned that our theme is Thrive. So all throughout the year, all of our conversations is going to be centered around thrive, how you thrive as a woman, how you thrive in business, in your personal relationships, how you thrive in ministry, just pretty much all well-rounded women. So this month, this episode, it's Women's International Women's Month, and we definitely this is an important episode because although we should be celebrating each other as women and as sisters all year long, but during the month of May we get to do it a little extra, a little more. I don't know about you, but I love seeing women come together and just celebrate each other genuinely and be supportive, and it's always a good time. So tonight's episode, it's all things Soul Sister, the circle of life. So while we're getting ourselves together, make sure you like, comment, and share the stream. Drop some comments to let us know that you are in the building virtually. And we definitely want to take some questions from the audience, from you all. If you have questions from our guest on tonight, please make sure you drop those comments. And let's just get into the conversation. So, look, we have two dynamic women. First, I want to introduce our very own Sister Diane Wesley. And next, we have our very own Sister Erica Ward. And of course, let's appreciate, again, the visionary of the vibe, Evangelist Lady Hope McMillan. I'm Janice Thomas. I'm your, what do you want to call it, like your pre-host for tonight. Conversationalist. And we want to give it up for our sister Kim, who couldn't be here tonight. So hi, Kim, if you're listening, tuning in. We miss you. Wish you were here. But yeah, so let's get into the conversation. So again, tonight's theme is Soul Sister, the Circle of Life. So I'm just going to get into it. Drop your comment. I want to know, we want to know, who is in your circle? And we want to pose the same question to our guests. So starting with Diane, Sister Diane. Can I call you Diane? Oh, okay. Tonight I could call you Diane. All right. We're not being formal tonight. Okay. So who's in your circle?
Well, I have several circles, people that I deal, that I'm pretty good friends with. So I have younger people that I deal with, that's friends, and we communicate. I have friends that's in my age group, and I have friends that's older than I. And just picking up and learning wisdom from them is awesome, So there's a circle of different vibes that I get from each group. So I thank God for them.
Okay. So, Erica, who's in your circle?
Who's in my circle? I, like Mother Wesley, have multiple circles, different groups of friends for different reasons. My sisters, I have sisters. I was blessed to have sisters growing up. My family is in my circle. My mama is in my circle. My mentor is in my circle. My aunties are in my circle. So that's who's in my circle. Those are the people that I consider my tribe.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So, First Lady, you want to share who's in your circle?
Sure. I have several circles as well because I believe that when we're developing relationships, especially as it relates to women and growing, I think that there are three important areas that we should address. I believe that we should have a circle of people that we lift up. And then I think we should have a circle, like I have a circle with just my homegirls, my peers who are my ride or die. The ones that I lift up are the young ladies who perhaps are younger than I and mature in terms of maturity and in terms of age. And I feel like I can pour something into them. So I lift them, and then my peers, my homegirls, we sort of kind of affirm and encourage each other. And, it's like those are the ones that have your back, period. And then there is a circle that I have for the women who lift me up. And I think that that's really, really important when we talk about circles. Circles shouldn't just be our family and our friends, or they can be. I'm not saying that. But I mean to say we want to also expand that and allow it to be a circle, a network of women in the workforce, women who are headed in the same direction or who are above you, who can help you along the way. I think there should be a circle in church. I think there should be a circle out, that you play with, or, that group of women that you sit around and just talk about your dreams, your goals, your visions that you can all connect with. So I think circles are very important, and we can lend a lot of our voice to the different circles that we participate in.
Oh, that's really good. That's good.
That was good. Did First Lady say period? Did you say
Period.
Yes.
Listen, these young, talk about circles. The young people will teach you what to say.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
I love having them in my space, because one of the things that I challenge myself and I challenge the young ladies also is it's cool to use the what's it called? It's cool to use slang. It's okay if you want to use some slang, but I say to them, listen, use me to practice your English. I want you to practice. Penny's out here. Erica's mom is out here. Penny, I want practice on me your English, so that when you go to your interview or when you are standing before trying to do your elevator speech, you are quick with your English, knowing what it is that you need to say. And so I get on them all the time. Remember, you're practicing with me. So please use your words, speak English, so that I can know that you're serious about what you're doing. Right. That was me kind of just going off the track. But when we're talking about circles, that's what happens inside of a circle when we talk about accountability, and I'm sure we're going to get there. That's one of the issues inside the circle.
That was really good. So listen, we want you to comment and tell us who's in your circle. We're going to have Lady Hope. She's going to be reviewing the comments. So we definitely want to engage. So make sure you drop your commentary in the comments section to let us know who's in your circle. So we went around and we heard about who's in your circle,
who's
right?
in your circle, Janice?
Oh, listen, my circle runs deep.
Okay, let's hear how deep.
Real deep. So with my circle, I definitely would agree that, well, I was going to segue into this, but since we're here, there's different levels to the circle, right? And so my circle, my current circle, because it's subject to change based upon who you are as a woman today, what your need is, how you want to uplift and build somebody else up. Like to First Lady's point, you want to have people in your circle that you can uplift, that you can learn from, that you can vibe out with. So my circle runs deep, definitely. I have all sorts of people in my circle for different reasons, from a professional standpoint, ministry, friends group. Some of them do intertwine, you know what I mean? So it's definitely important just to have those group of people specific to females who can definitely uplift you and build you, hold you accountable, because that's important. So, yeah, that's my circle. But I mentioned something, like, I feel like for me, my circle was subject to change as I grew. So how deep does your circle run, and what are some of the non-negotiables to be in your circle? What do I have to do to get in your circle? If I wanted to be in your circle, what did I have to do? What do I have to do?
Well, to get in my circle, well, you know, I'm kind of low key a little bit.
Are you?
Not too, it depends. Sometimes I shy away, sometimes I'm not. But you and I can have something in common, more so business wise and church. You know, I can see you and I in that area. Even though I wanted to come to you for some information, and that's been on my radar, to deal with you in a business area, to get some insight, some input to where I need to go and grow and how to prepare myself for what level I need to move to, and dealing with how to set up a business the proper way. So I know that I can get great ideas from you because I know you've been doing this for a long time. And more so I can look at you in that area, not just as a friend at church, but in other areas like that too.
So you're intentional about your circle
Yeah.
for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yeah.
So when you think about your circle, does the levels of your circle change? Has it changed, and what did that look like over time?
Yes, it has changed. It more so mine's changed through like age. I look at myself even as in a relationship. It changes. And every 5 years, every 3 years, something different changes in your life. I mean, something changes every year, but you really know the change. You really know the change every 3 to 5 years. You really see a big change in how you have grown. So I've known my circle has changed with age and dealing with people in different areas, who I can go to for certain things, and which I do that all the time. I know who I can go to for certain things. And I look at the women's group at church. I love it. I look at the mother's board at church. I love it. So it's different things that we do with each of those groups, because it's an auxiliary. So you're dealing with different organizations. And that organization is a part of the church and outside of the church. So I have seen myself grown in different levels, even on the outside with family, other friends. I have made new friends in different types of circles, and I have friends of different cultures.
Oh, okay. We're going to get into that a little later, the different cultures. That's definitely interesting. So, Erica, how can someone land a spot in your circle? How can they have a seat at the table?
You can have a seat at the table in my circle by being loyal, honest, by having a prayer life. I'm gonna get to that point in a minute about prayer. So I said loyal. You need to be honest. You need to, be able to pray for me. You need to be able to hear me when I'm quiet, when I'm not saying a word. The people who are in my circle, if Erica is quiet, what's going on with her? Because I always got something to say, So people who have those qualities. I said prayer because I have a friend group. We call ourselves Girlfriends Growing. And I never struggled having friends growing up, at school or even my family members are my friends. And I only had a few church friends, but I used to always say, I want church friends. Like, what do I have to do to get a buddy at the convention? What do I have to do to go out to brunch at the church with someone? Because I'm always with the aunties. You can catch me with, it's funny, but someone say, you're always with older people. And I'm like, that's how I stay out of trouble. But it's true. So I was praying for friends, and they just happened to come to me at church. And we call ourselves Girlfriends Growing. And we call ourselves Girlfriends Growing because our friendship was birthed through prayer. So it started with two of us, and I would take a day, she would take a day, I would take a day, she would take a day. And then someone heard about it, and our friend group grew. And, we put her on a day. And so I'm like, wow, you need friends who pray for you.
Yes.
you need friends who pray for you, because when you're praying for me, you're holding me accountable about the things that we're requesting. You know, we're making our requests known to each other. So that's why I feel, strongly about having friends who know how to pray.
That's really good. One thing that resonated to me over the last 5 minutes was I heard you, Sister Wesley, say you identified the importance of connecting with women in ministry. And then, Erica, you mentioned the buzzword church friend or church. You said church friend, right? Yeah. So let me ask you ladies this. What's the difference between relationships among women in ministry versus outside of the ministry? Should it be all in the same, or is it a big difference? And if so, what is it?
Okay. I wouldn't say it's a big difference, but you know what? It's so funny that you say this, because the other day, my friend from church that I met here at church, she said, "Don't call me your church friend. We hang out outside of church." I'm like, "Of course we did." I'm saying, when I say church friend, I met you at church. Because if you're my friend, you're just my friend. So I'm saying church friend because I met you at church. But I'm not going to rock with certain people the way I rock with certain people outside, like in the streets. I learned it the hard way. Everything is not for everybody. And that's not always because, where I'm going or what I'm doing something wrong. But you need to some things need to be sacred. Growing up, me, Aaron, Karen, Jeremy, my siblings, we could not spot my mother, to say, "Oh, that's my best friend." People like, "Well, Penny don't hang with nobody." She kept her circle so tight. I never understood why, because I'm the total opposite. But growing up, because I am 30, I realized, you can't run with everybody. So yes, it's different. It's different. You are my friend, but you are at church. And I also learned you can't befriend everybody just because, y'all go to the same church, y'all around the same age. I guess I'm just still learning. But to be honest, I'm not going to say just because you're my church friend or just because I consider you my friend, I can just run with you, all the time. Mm-mm. It's a fine line. And when you know, you know. When you know that you can bring somebody in, you know. But when you know you can't, you just got to chill, if that makes sense.
Okay, First Lady. First Lady picked up her mic with the cute pink cover on it, because she has something to say. But listen, make sure you are engaging. We want to hear from you. All right. What you got for us, First Lady? Because you picked up that mic real quick.
No, because I wanted to acknowledge some of the comments, but let me also say, when we're talking about who is in your circle and how can I get in, I think that it goes back to understanding the purpose of the circle. So if I'm dealing with my network, my business network, and we're talking business and we're exchanging ideas and trying to grow each other in our finances, talking about how can I get a grant, how can I get lending, what's my next move, can you help me rewrite my plan. If we're talking about that, then that's what we're talking about. And those relationships are honest and they're pure and they're just as healthy as my relationships. I have 3 sisters, I have 3 brothers, and I have loads of cousins, and we are, all of us, I have like 5 cousins my age. My sister has 5 cousins her age. So we grew up as, we called ourselves a family of friends. So I understand the relationship of family being friends.
Right.
We could share with each other. We could talk to each other. We fought with each other, and we cried with each other. Even though now I live here, they live there, and other places, when we need each other, we're there. It's just automatic. And so that's my circle for my personal life, right? But some of my friends outside of my family are included in my family, Do you know what I mean? Because we've grown up together, because we've had shared experiences, because we know we can relate to one another. We're relevant.
Right.
I think that's key for any relationship, to be relevant to each other. Why are you here? And it's not so much as my age that has taught me, but more of my experiences. I no longer have the capacity for certain things that I did, and so now, those who are in my circle, I don't go around, I don't have a magnifying glass, I don't have a measuring stick, I don't have a measuring tape, I don't have a yardstick, I don't have any of that. You can come into my circle, like Erica said, and be honest. And even if you're not honest and there's something good about you, we'll grow together. Like you'll be that friend that I'm lifting up.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Because we need that. I need somebody who's pulling me up to tell me, Hope, why'd you do that? Why did you say that? And I have friends that they'll do that. Even some of my peers can do that. But it's mostly those who are higher than I, which now could be my mother, because I'm much older now, and now we call each other friends. And she can say to me, Hope, you can't do that. Well, so what? But you can't do that. You know what I mean? And you all know that I don't play with my mom.
My mom, are you
I
watching?
don't play with my mom. But I said all that to say, when it comes to the question of how does someone get in, I think some things happen organically.
Yeah.
And I appreciate those kinds of relationships, because I attract what I'm looking for,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I dress how I dress because I need you to come, I need you to, well, you get it.
You get it.
I need you to be serious, and I need to look at you and say that you are.
Right.
And I know that, not because you're not, but if I know you're serious and you need some help, what do? I help you. I don't even have a problem with it. I help you. We go and get the matter taken care of, and that's how we affirm each other. You're helping me with my self-esteem because I can help you, and I'm helping you with your self-worth, with your self-belief. I'm helping you because I just got you to a place where you weren't comfortable, where you didn't think you had what you needed in the circle that you were in. So that's how you come. That's how I think you get into my circle. So here are a couple of comments I just want to say, and then I'll turn it back over because everybody knows I can talk. So Kim Thomas asked, "Can somebody be in your circle if they aren't saved?" I think that is that a question? Can somebody be in your circle if you aren't saved? I have several people in my circle who aren't saved, but I understand for myself what that means for me, because I would consider myself the stronger one in that area. And so if you're not saved and you're in my circle, you know what's coming when we're together. I win you through my life, through my lifestyle, through the words that come out of my mouth. Would you agree with that? That you can have friends that are not saved. Again, it's the circle. It's the circle. I'm trying to grow you. So you might not be in this one right here, but you're over here in a different circle, and I view you differently. And then you have somebody, hey, Ray, I see you, girl. Ray Sims said, hey, girlfriend.
Hey, girlfriend.
And then Sister Jackson, different circle for different levels of life, support, growth, positivity, acceptance of being just me. How true is that, right?
That is true.
Especially acceptance.
Yes.
We struggle with that as women.
Yes.
We want to be accepted. Can I pause right there? Can you give me a minute to pause right there, because that's good. Have you ever struggled with acceptance? Has anybody out there ever struggled with the acceptance of other women? Go ahead.
Yes, I have struggled with acceptance. Trying to be accepted. How can I word this? Because I jumped out there like, oh, yeah, I got something to say. And I do. I always do. But I've struggled with acceptance because, no one wants to be a loner. No one wants to be out there by themselves. I realized I'm 30. I keep saying it because I can't believe it. But I've realized around 25, 26 that I was different. And it was okay. I was saved, at a young age, as saved as I knew how to be. And I realized, Erica, you can't hang with everybody because you are different. And now I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So yes, to answer the question, I have struggled with trying to be accepted, and it's not always a good feeling. But if you just trust God to send you the right people, He will. He will definitely send you the right people.
Yes, that, and I agree. Did one of
I,
you want to say
I
something?
agree with Erica, what she said. I struggled with that too, even at my age now. So it doesn't put an age limit on it of being different. It comes in all kinds of shapes and fashions of being different within yourself. So you're not going to always be accepted. And I've learned that. And it's okay with me. And it's fine. I mean, when I was younger, I didn't understand it. But as I got older, I understood it much better. And as of me being who I am today, yes, there's going to be some differences. There's going to be somewhere I can have a friend that's going to strengthen me. There's a friend that's going to help me in my weakness, where I'm weak at. Or I can help them where they're weak at or where they're strong at. So I thank God for the differences, and I thank God for the differences that's within me.
Yeah, that's real good.
That's good.
That's real good. And I think we all long for acceptance, but I think acceptance first starts with you accepting who you are, right? You have to accept who you are, and you have to know what you bring to the table. If you don't accept yourself, whether you're heavy, whether you're thin, whether you're short, whether you're tall, whether you're pigeon-toed, whether you're knock-kneed, whether you're bow-legged, those are the physical attributes. Not really talking about those, but on the inside, who are you? Who are you inside? Are you sad all the time? Are you happy? Are there some things that you need to fix inside of you, meaning the anger that you're still carrying? You're about 55 and you're still angry over something that happened when you were 16. I'm not sure how you remember that, but it must have been something traumatic. So we accept even those things about us that are difficult, because once we can accept who we are and once we know what we're bringing to the table, then it makes it easier for us to understand about acceptance, right? Okay.
I love that because, as you mature, even as a young lady, the price just goes up.
Yeah.
Okay, the price goes up because you realize I deserve better.
Yep.
You know,
So
when you start, looking, when you were that person who was looking for, love in different places, friendship, girlfriends, relationships, at work, relationships you make at work, and you just kind of, like First Lady said, work on yourself, build within, because everything that's in you comes out anyway. So I just love that because it just starts within. So I was glad that you said that, because that's something that I had to realize, and that's kind of where I am right now. So,
Yeah.
I can look
That's
at
good.
something and say,
yeah.
she don't deserve to be in my circle, or
Right.
he don't deserve this, or it's important that you know what you bring to the table.
And another question, I'm sorry, Janice, and let me read a couple of more, because we're building off of all of this. Um, experiences growing up, Sister Faye, experiences growing up caused me to have a very closed circle. Experiences growing up, and I can understand that. But do you understand that even with that, as you continue growing in the Lord, He expands. You begin to heal. You begin to see differently. You perceive differently. And you forgive, but you don't have to pull that person that close anymore. You continue with your life. You still care, you love them, but you go on with your life. And so, Janice Rogers Frederick, yes, my family also. Courtney, the stylist, I think all friendships and sisterhoods or circles should have a purpose. Absolutely.
Yes.
And I think even as children, circles have a purpose, right?
Yeah,
Even in elementary school, you start figuring out who your girls are, right?
Yeah.
And you start figuring out who you want to hang out with. And even at that little age, they'll say to you, "Oh my God, you did that. Why you do that?" Right?
Yeah.
I'm talking like that, right? Because, I'm one to I don't want to speak bad English. But even as children, you have circles. So growing up, being old at 30, Erica, I imagine your circle, because your thought pattern, your actions, and the things you're interested in have changed. So you might have another circle, a more mature circle, right?
That's true.
Yeah,
Yes.
because you're actually in a different place. Same for Sister Wesley. We're 50 something.
Yep, 50-something.
50 something. I'll be
50-something.
58. I'll be 58 in October, right? And my circle has certainly changed, and in a good way, and in a surprising way at times. And I'm sure the same is true for Janice. And so I think that they should have a purpose. But what does that mean when we say sisterhoods or circles should have a purpose? What does that really mean?
I think it means it should have a purpose. So, like, the purpose of the vibe is to encourage, is to, uplift, is to strengthen, So this serves a purpose. So if you're not bringing anything to the table, exactly what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Because you get to a place in your life where you wanna build, you wanna grow, you wanna learn. So if we don't have it, especially if that's who I am, if you don't have that in you, then we probably wouldn't click anyway. So something, I guess, in exchange. I'm not saying you're going to get something from everyone, but most relationships, they definitely need to serve a purpose.
And then Sister Jackson, how about, have you ever had a friend break the circle, and how did you handle it?
So
She's asking that to the panel.
let's pause on that for a second, if we may. So Erica, and this is for Erica or Sister Wesley. So you said we've done a lot of talking about the requirement of someone being in our circle, what someone has to do or prove to have that honor in our circle, whether your circle is, if we want to quantify it, doesn't have to be 20 people. It can be the quality of 5 people that equates to 20 people. But we did a lot of talking about what you need to do to be in my circle, to stay in my circle, how I identify how we establish the different relationships in various circles. But what do we do for ourselves in terms of what are we giving back to that circle? Because when we talk about relationships are supposed to be reciprocal. So in order to reciprocate what you expect from your circle of people, what are you giving to your circle?
One thing I can say is that people sit back and observe. We observe each other, especially women. We're observing each other, and when they're looking at me, what I'm putting out. So if they seeing positivity coming out of me, they're going to give me positive back. If they see me uplifting them, they're going to want to uplift other people too, because this is what I'm putting out. So what you put out is what you're going to get back. If you put out negativity, you're going to get negativity. If you put out positivity, you're going to get positivity. That's how I see it. So we sit back and we emphasize, we study each other as women, okay?
Don't say you don't, because we do.
We do. We all do it, and women have a substantial things on their minds, a lot of things on their mind. So when they're bringing people in their circle, especially at my age, even at the age of 30, 20-something, 40-something, they really observing the person that they're about to bring into their circle. Because to me nowadays, it's very serious. This thing is serious about friendship. Friendship is not a joke. And you can spot if you want a person to be in your circle or not, and what you're going to accept and what you're not going to accept. So I think communication plays a big part in a relationship, because a friendship is a relationship. Your sister is your relationship. Your friends are your relationship. Your aunts and uncles, whoever that's in your circle, it's a relationship. Communication.
I think, if I can kind of speak before you, I think, again, one of the important things for us to remember also as we talk about soul sister and circles, everybody in our circle should not be like us. Do you know what I mean? That we have to have a circle where we're helping somebody, where you know, if somebody is not of the same personality as they're not as knowledgeable, or they're not as vocal. But I think that there's nothing wrong with me embracing that person, and probably I must have something to offer. And so that's the give back. That's the circle where, remember, it's 3 people. You lift them up, they're your peers, or they're lifting you up. And we have to, as women, you talked about how we study each other. And that may be very true. And I think sometimes we get stuck on those kinds of things. They distract us. We realize that that's true, so let's realize that that's true. Let's clear that up front. We realize that that's true, but do we have more, that we have more in common that we can sort of focus on, that I can help you with, that I can push you through? What do I have that I can contribute to my soul sister? Right. And the soul sister isn't just the person in my main circle. Right. The soul sister, it could be someone, again, on my job, or somebody in this church, where I don't have to tell you my personal business or anything, but I can help you. You know, so it's important. I don't want us as women to stay on the point that we check each other out. We do. And we have these other kinds of things, because it's so much bigger, because life is small now. Life is small today. So things are so much bigger that I want to see. I get it. You're going to check me out. Thank you. Okay. I know that that's going to happen. I'm okay with that. But what else can we share? What else can we grow through? How can I hold you accountable? How can someone hold me accountable? And how do we get to the next step?
But I'm sorry. Go ahead, Erica.
I wanted to make a comment to Mother Wesley's studying your sister or studying your friends. So I took that in a very good way, and I'm just speaking for myself.
Right.
So growing up in school, my mother had Coach Judy and Burke, Prada bags, and I would be like, in the 4th grade, 3rd grade, like, oh, I'm going to sneak one of them bags, and I'm going to take them bags to school, because I see how good she look when she going to work with the bags. So growing up, you know, because I studied her, that's what I wanted. You know, it's nothing for First Lady to come in here with some shoes on. Let me see your shoes tonight. And I'm studying the looks, because she looks nice.
Right.
And you should be able to glean from your sisters in Christ, from your friends. It's not, me studying somebody isn't me being intimidated by them, comparing myself to them, being negative. I feel like that's another exchange. Right. Janice asked the question, what are you bringing to your friendships? What are you bringing to your circle? I'm that friend. I'm going to show up. Late, work uniform on, but that changed. I'll talk about that later. I'm going to show, that's what I'm bringing. Erica Camille is going to be there. I don't care if it's a prayer, a text, so that's what I'm bringing to the friendship. I wanted to make a comment about, studying, but I also wanted to answer what I bring to my tribe and my circle.
That's really good. I mean, I definitely study people, not from a negative sense. I study people for a couple of different reasons. How am I going to approach the initial encounter, right? How can I potentially help someone, or how can I glean from that person? So me studying someone, for me, is not an indication of me being standoffish or sizing you up to see who you really are. It's really me just trying to figure out how it's something about you that I'm going to study you because I want you in my circle, right? So that's what for me, for me studying people, that's where my intention come from.
Right.
So
Because if I'm, some people have things that I would like to learn from them, and I know that they can give it to me. Just approaching them, I'm studying how I can be able to approach that person. Some people you just gotta be a little careful, and you gotta be able to approach
yeah,
people in certain ways because some of them that you are going to, they're going to know more than what you know. So you're going for them to get answers, so you can you know, push past whatever that's going on within you. They can help you grow.
so let me ask you a question. Early, at the top of the conversation, you mentioned that you wanted to approach me a long time ago on whatever
Yeah.
So how come you never approached me? Did I give off "don't come approach me" vibe,
You
or
know what?
what was it?
You didn't give me that. I had talked to you about it before a little bit, but we didn't talk. But it was on my mind, but I never got back with you on it. And it was during the pandemic time.
See, I'm checking the temperature, y'all, because
It was during the pandemic
I
time.
want to make sure that I'm not giving off
No, you didn't.
that I'm not approachable
No,
for you. You know what I mean?
You never gave me that. More so, it could have been me kind of being like afraid to approach you because I didn't know how to come with the, like, oh, Janice, she got it all. She know about the business. She knows this. She knows that. I got to be ready when I go to her or to be prepared. That's how more so I probably was thinking at that time. But now I can come to you.
Anytime.
As a segue into that, or from that, what is the greatest hurdle you've overcome?
The greatest hurdle. Oh, I just thought. Go ahead. Okay. The greatest hurdle I've overcome is self-doubt. I've overcome self-doubt, right? And I'm just so happy about it, which is why I'm standing and smiling, because I was there for so long doubting myself, not believing in myself. And like First Lady said, as you grow older, you mature, and you see yourself different, and you see what you bring to the table, and you see what you are capable of. And I'm at a place in my life now where I believe in myself, now more than ever. And it feels great. I feel like the greatest hurdle I've overcome in this season is self-doubt.
That's good.
Fear. I really know that I have came over that hump right there of fear. Sometime it may show up a little bit within me, but I get over that, get over it, and I keep going and I move on. And I look at my life now where God has brought me into different places, different jobs. I mean, just unbelievable things that has happened to me that other people saw in me. And for me to believe it, I see it even more. And I have gone past it. And I thank God for it. And I thank you, First Lady, most of all, for your encouragement. And Erica, I thank you for always coming to me because you ask me things or ask me my opinion. And I'm like, Erica's coming to me. Oh, this is awesome.
You are
That's
wise.
so
You are a mother.
nice.
You are wise.
She comes to me and asks me questions. I communicate with her at work. And, I enjoy every bit of it. I mean, thank you, God, for the fear that you're helping me to overcome.
Isn't that something, though?
That's nice.
When we talk about our hurdles and the challenges that we have to deal with, when we realize that there are so many people in our life who sow into our growth, and they're not in our immediate circle, but they're part of the soul sister. They're part of the circle of life, not just the circle of girlfriends, the circle of life for you, it included people that are not necessarily in that private circle, but they're people that you listened to, that you heard what they said, and it helped you to grow and to become who you are today. And the same with Erica. You know, you're now, you have this boldness about you. You have this confidence about yourself because you started listening and hearing what people had to say about, and you would give off that same aura. You would give off that same scent, if you will. Your circle is not small, it's rather large, and you have different people that you can draw from and that you can pull from, but also people who hold you accountable, people who will tell you you're wrong, people who will tell you how to do something a little differently. You have people who affirm you. You both, all of us, we should have people who affirm us, and we should have people that we affirm, people that we can encourage and talk to, you know, by way of helping them to get to the next step. So yeah, that was really good.
I have a question for Mother Wesley. How did you overcome fear? Because for me, I'm big on affirmations. So the self-doubt thing, you know, that was something that I had to get out of my mind first, you know. So, you know, I'm just thinking of the scripture, you know, he who has begun a good work in me, you know, shall perform it. So, you know, that was one of, not so much affirmation, but scriptures are affirmations as well.
Right.
That helped me. What helped you get over your fear?
Well, what helps me, I have to pray. I have to take time out with myself first. I mean, fear gonna come. It's gonna come. It's gonna go. It's gonna creep up on you sometimes. Okay, but I have to sit back and look at myself. And I look at myself, and I have to think about, you know, where I'm going at with this or this situation or what's going on. And I just ask God to come in. Lord, I need you right now. I need you right now more than ever before. So when I begin to start meditating and begin to pray on the situation, then I can also, one thing about me, I can call one of the mothers. I can call Mother Span. I can call your grandmother. Love them so much. Mother Phillips. I can call certain people that will pray for me that have more wisdom than I have, that can help me break through my fear. So I go to a lot of the you know, women of wisdom that's above my age. That
And
it helps me.
the reality is we're going to fear. That's why the Bible says, fear not, that I am with you always, right? Because the Lord knows we're going to fear. And so Erica, as Sister Wesley said, it's connecting with people who have the wisdom to guide you. But the other way you conquer fear is to do the thing you fear. God delivered me from fear. So what God is going to do, you're going to have those instances where you have to not be afraid, right? And I share that with you often, not about fear necessarily, but when we ask God something, the thing that we're asking God about, we are faced with it, and we have to have the opposite response to it. So, Lord, I don't want to be afraid anymore. So it seems like all of a sudden you're going to have all these things happen where you have opportunity to be afraid or to not be afraid. You'll probably fail at it for a little bit until somebody is saying to you, that's why it keeps happening, because you got to do something different. It keeps happening because you got to respond differently. And so pretty soon you start doing something different every so often, and then you realize, yeah, this is really working. And before you know it, you've conquered it. Because you're not going to get over it until you get over it, right? Until you face it. So you keep doing things afraid. You keep exactly, because it's going to happen. Everything the Bible tells us is true. It's going to happen. Lord, I'm scared. Help me. Lord, increase my faith. Lord, give me strength. All of these things we're going to be faced with, and you're going to have to do the opposite of what you would normally do.
That was good. Thank you. Thank you.
So let's have some fun, just a little bit. So we talked about the relationships among women, sisterhood, in the church, out of the church, and I learned a little bit more about this term literally an hour ago. So,
Wow.
I mean, I heard the term. I just didn't take a deep dive in the term until, of course, my first lady got me hip to this term, like the definition and everything.
Yeah.
Listen, we're going to talk about girl code, the girl code, okay? So, Erica, break
Yes.
break it down to us. What does girl code mean? What's the meaning of girl code?
To me, girl code means to me helping your sister without telling another sister. Because once you tell another sister that you helped another sister, you done broke the code. So that's girl code to me. Girl code to me is, some things you don't say around the fellas is just for the girls. You know, that is girl code. Don't be trying to talk to my ex, Sister Janice. I mean, you married, so I'm not talking to you. But if you did, you broke
If
the
I
code.
wasn't married, no, I wouldn't be talking to your ex.
But if you did, you didn't broke the girl code. So that's what I had to say about girl code.
Listen, I Googled girl code just now, right?
Okay.
That ex, don't talk to my ex. That's number 5 on the list, or the top.
It's on there.
It's the top 6, and it's number 5. Don't talk to my ex. But Sister Wesley, what does the term girl code mean to you?
Having respect. Not, let's say, sharing each other victory.
That's good.
Not being jealous of one another. Going back, like you said, Erica, confidentiality, privacy. That's a part of girl code too. Girl code, you can share everything with one another, but you don't share your man. That's a girl code.
That's a code.
No, that's a code. That's a life code.
That's a
But I'm just,
First
you
lady.
said I'm keeping it real. You
yes.
don't step in those boundaries
Mm-hmm.
with one another.
Right.
Am I my brother's keeper?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Respect each other's space. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Give each other, just respect one another.
I think the girl code.
Oh, you're a girl code first lady.
Well, it's all of what they've said, and I think that it's really important, just that we love each other enough to respect and to care about. If I see that you spilled something on your clothes and we're about to go out, I'm not going to just let you go out like that. The code says I want you to look good, so I'm going to tell you what was wrong with your clothes, or if I think that your attitude is foul and we're in a crowd, I'm not going to just disrespect you and say, what's the matter with you? I'm not going to get like that in the crowd. I'm going to give you a signal to say, can we go, let's go over here for a minute. Can you come here? You know what I mean? That's part of the girl code, for me to help you, for me to signal to you that you're off. Breaking the girl code is something different, but the girl code itself is just me helping each other to know these are the deal breakers, and these are the things we can continue growing with. A deal breaker is when I've confided in you, and whether it's in front of a guy or a girl, and you tell what I confided in you. That's breaking the code. The other girl code is even if we're with our spouses and you go against me, I'll be like, wait, what you doing? We gotta stick together. I know that's your man, but we had a party and we're having fun, so you can't go against me. we girls got to stick together. So in all honesty, you know, I think the girl code can be fun, but it's also we mean business about it. We mean let's be honest with each other. Let's be true to each other. Let's help guide each other. Let's hold each other accountable. Let's affirm each other. Let's cry on each other's shoulder and know that, you know, if I'm telling you, can this stay between us, you're going to really keep it there. Right. You know, and if I hear it again, then I know that, you know, I can't confide in you anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So a code, even just your life code, yields to the girl code. Do you know what I mean? It lends to it, rather. It lends to it because you when you grow up with a set of principles, you live by them. And as women, it's innate. We grow up expecting a certain thing from people.
As women, when we're talking with our friends or communicating with people that we call our friends or we're close to and we're sharing things with, we should know what not to say and what, you know, to other people. You know when something is a secret. You know when you talking to somebody, you know you know. And I just feel, to me, I don't know if you all don't believe.
Speak it to the mic.
If you all don't believe me or not, when I tell somebody something about my life, it's not a secret anymore.
That's
right.
What you tell it.
Right.
I feel like it's not a secret anymore, and I feel like one day it may get out to some other people. So it's best for me to go ahead and share it with the next person, if I felt like I can share it with someone else, because that was a part of my fear also. So I feel like I can share things with people. And I just feel like once it's out, it's not a secret anymore.
And Kathy, this is right. And when you break that code, take responsibility for your actions. Don't put them out there and leave them there. Having your back, your front, and your Sister Jackson, and your side. That's the girl code, right? I got your back. That's your ride or die. I got your back. And Tillery, I see that you're saying some things, all facts. There's a code of boundaries and space. Yes. And so we do have things set up as we begin to wind down our conversation. There are things that we want to keep in mind when we're talking about codes, and when we're talking about circles, and when we're talking about, you know, about life, because I think that while March is dedicated to the celebration of women's history, I believe that the celebration should happen every day.
Right.
You know, it's dedicated to March, but I think we should celebrate each other every single day. We're not celebrated enough. We have to fight for everything we get. We have to fight for inequalities in the workplace. We have to fight for inequalities in the church. Wait, did I say that? We have to fight for inequalities in the church. We have to fight for inequalities in the home. We have to fight for inequalities we have out in the world. We have to fight for these things. And so we have to celebrate each other and encourage each other to know that we got this. We got this. There's a scripture in the Bible, and it's in Proverbs 31:16-17. She considereth a field and buyeth it. With the fruit of her hands she planteth a vineyard. She girdeth her loins with strength and strengtheneth her arms. And you know what that means? That means whatever a woman aims at achieving, she will achieve it, no matter what. We're built to make things happen. We're built to get things right. We're built to stay the course, to stay on the journey. We're actually built to support each other, to hold each other up. We're built. We birth babies. What? It doesn't get much deeper than that, right? Anybody who can carry a man-child, that's pretty powerful. And so we're built to do whatever we want to do, and no matter whatever we put our aim to, we're going to make it happen. And so as we consider these three women on this platform, women who are an integral part of life and relationships and forward progress, we want to continue to hold each other in high esteem. We want to know that, sister, I got your back for real. I'm with you. I might not agree with you all the time, but I got your back and I'm with you. Because we're not always going to say the same thing, but we are all contributing something. And so if we can find the worth in what we contribute, we become a good tribe. We become a good vibe. We are all then thriving, and we're all growing, and we're all moving. The circle of life is about a constant growth. It's about a give and a take. It's about appreciation, and it's about what are my other words? It's about owning up to your challenges, having people who do challenge you, knowing what is our challenge on today. Like, what is our greatest challenge today? Have you even considered that? What is our greatest challenge? What is your greatest challenge today? And what was your breakthrough moment? That's the question I wanted to get to. What was your breakthrough moment? Can we answer that like in two minutes as we close out with that question? What was your breakthrough moment in whether it's in your circle, whether it's you helped somebody, whether it's you got through something? What was your breakthrough moment to get you to the next level?
So I know you said what was your breakthrough moment, and you also said what is the biggest challenge we face today? They kind of go hand in hand for me. My breakthrough moment was when I went to a doctor's appointment, and I was like, that scale is lying. Oh. The scale was broke, First Lady. They needed, the scale was broke. And I got myself so worked up. I was crying. The doctor was telling me things that I didn't want to hear. You know how it is for us.
Yes.
And so I'm just like, oh, Lord. So the doctor's like, well, you can call on them, but you're going to be calling the pharmacy to make sure you can pick up your medicine if you don't turn it around.
Oh, okay.
So that was a breakthrough moment for me. You know, I desired to have children one day, but if I'm not taking care of myself, that won't happen. That was a breakthrough moment for me. So, and that's a challenge that we as women, we face, you know, keeping our appointments, making those appointments, calling the doctor's office back to see what they are saying. You know, that was a breakthrough moment for me.
And that's where your circle comes in, where they'll say to you, Erica, did you make that appointment?
Yes, my circle been asking me about my appointments. Yeah. Girlfriend's grown. We done got new waist trainers. Yeah. All that. But that was my breakthrough moment.
That's good. Mine's is medical too. I've just found out that I had to be using a CPAP machine. I have sleep apnea. So that was a breakthrough moment for me, and I shared it with a friend, and she has been checking on me, seeing how everything is going with me. And I was just so shocked because my husband said he has been recording me snoring. So it's really me. So that's a big breakthrough in my life. And then having friends that's concerned about my health. And I didn't want to burden other people with it, but that was a breakthrough for me to be able to share that with someone and get words of encouragement.
Janice?
Okay. My breakthrough moment was really me realizing that I cannot do this thing we call life alone. I'm a loner. I am. I like to be alone, or at least I thought I liked to be alone. It wasn't nothing for me to be alone. I've always had friends, right? Or people who gravitated towards me. But in a perfect world, I can just be by myself, and that was okay. Until I had to get to a level of, wanted to just, it's healthy to have good people around you and not being afraid of opening that door to new relationships, right? And that also helped me grow in all aspects of my life, and then, just becoming bolder in what I do. I never struggled with self-esteem or wanted to be um, liked by people until there was a period in time where I felt I wasn't accepted or part of the crew, if you will, or circle in ministry when it came to church for a period. So all my life I was like, oh, I'm good. I was the person who, had friends and all that part was great. But then when the ministry started to intertwine in my life, I was like, ugh, this is scary. I don't feel like I'm accepted or part of the crew, if you will, right? But that was me really having to say, hey, one, you have to make yourself receptive to people and not be so standoffish, because I give that sometimes, right? But also understanding that for me, when you're making that shift into something that's uncomfortable, when it comes to whatever I do in ministry, and it doesn't necessarily have to be preaching,
Right.
but just being, just really working for God, right? So I had to realize that I needed to just, I needed to be bold and not as timid. But I was not as bold and I was timid because I was worried about or feeling that I didn't belong. So once I got over that, I'm like, look, I don't care who says what or who doesn't invite me to the party. Not, you know what I mean? Just not being accepted. I had to get over that. And once I did, things started to blossom for me in that area. So.
I was thinking about something as you were talking when you said you thought that you were not accepted, but then you like was looking like, okay, well, do I make it? Do I? Am I approachable? Do I smile at others, or is my face always round? So as we were as we've been talking tonight, I was thinking, and I use girlfriends growing eggs as an example tonight, but if someone I'm just going to use Janice because she's from New York. So say I don't know you, you're from New York, you come to the church, and you see me with my group of friends. Like, is it okay to say, come hang with us? Are you open to saying, come hang with us? How do you, say, pull another sister in? Because it's one thing to have a circle, but then it's another thing to have a clique.
Right, right.
Are your circle coming off as mean girls? Are y'all nice girls? Are you being receptive? And I want to always show up to be the person where we don't have to be friends, but if you see a sister over there, pull her in. Yeah. It's okay. Everybody doesn't know. Right. Everybody is not a social butterfly.
Right.
Some people are introverts, Some people stand by themselves, but then if you, hey girl, hey, and it's like, oh, she one of us. She can come on, So I just was thinking about that because sometimes we, as women, give off mean girl vibes. And that has to stop. If you're going to have friendships and say, like, oh, I'm sisterhood. I empower women. This is my tribe. Just make sure you're being genuine about it because nothing is cute about being a mean girl. So I was just thinking about that as you were talking, because sometimes we don't pull our sisters in, and that's what we had to do. We had to pull, each other in because we are really better together.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everything that has been said is really, really good. And we all need each other. We need each other. We each have something that we can give to one another, whether it's embracing someone who's new to the ministry or to the community, whether it's someone who's not new but is in a new place in their own life. It's not for us to sort of judge where they are in their life, but we recognize that this person is in a certain place, and maybe my responsibility is to say, come on, let's go to dinner. Come hang out with us. We just want to go out to dinner and hang out a little bit. That's what we do in a circle. That's what we do in a circle of life. The key word is life. We want to give life to people. And so we want to know that those that we have relationship with or that we're trying to work with, that we speak the truth. The Bible says to speak the truth in love. So let's just keep all of those things at the forefront. Accountability, influence, kindness, consideration. All of these things are components of the soul sister. All of these things are components of how we move forward in who we are as women, trying to be, we're just an everyday woman. Everyday woman with everyday matters. And these are just everyday matters, and the more we talk about them, the more real we'll be about them. The more we talk about them, the more we'll talk about them. And so I think as we continue with conversations like this, where conversations meet purpose, the purpose is to encourage, equip, empower, influence, affirm. We're here to do all of that for one another. And did you want to read something?
Scripture from Proverbs, the 27th chapter, verse 9.
The mic.
Sweet. Proverbs 27:9. Sweet friendship refresh the soul and awaken our hearts with joy. For good friends are like the anointing oil that yields the fragrance incense of God's presence.
That's
love
nice.
that
That's
scripture.
good. That's good.
Yes.
That's
and we're going
nice.
to close on that.
Yes.
Can you text that to us? Yeah, that's really good. We're going to meditate on that. And as we wind down, thank you so much for joining us, for being here with us. Penny, thank you for being our live studio audience. And look forward to hearing information, because we are going to do a live session inside the church. So look out for that to come out in the next couple of months. Thank you, Facebook, for participating, for your comments. Sister Jackson, awesome ladies. Each one of you are special and wonderfully made. Good point, Erica. Better together, add vibe to your circle. Love you back, First Lady Boyd. That's my sister, and she is in my circle. Yes, I love you. And so we're looking forward to growing in the Lord. Erica, we're going to ask that you would give final words and close us out in prayer, please.
Okay, so everything that we talked about tonight just boils down to you get to choose your tribe, but also, have that discernment to know where each person belongs in your life and in your tribe. I've enjoyed tonight. It was an honor to be on your platform, First Lady. I just want to say that the vibe, is it a year old? Is it a year old?
Yeah.
Okay. So when the vibe first came out, I was like, oh my God, First Lady going live? And I wasn't in a place mentally to be a part. I was a part because I'm a member of the ministry, but I wasn't in a place to, have the conversation. The vibe has helped me navigate through some situations that I've been going through. And it was definitely an honor. And I'll come back, invite me back. And I just wanted to say thank you again. And thank you, Mother Wesley and Sister Janice and First Lady. God, we thank you. We praise you. We honor you for who you are and for what you mean to us. Thank you for sisterhood. Thank you for us. Thank you for First Lady. Thank you for her vision. I ask that you would just continue to let us make the right connections. Thank you. And I ask that you would continue to allow us to just be nice and be kind and be sweet. First Lady mentioned having a scent. Let us all have sweet scents. Let us all be welcoming and loving. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. And God bless Bishop William Elijah McMillan, Jr. Amen. Thank you, Bishop, our pastor, for allowing us to have this space. Good night.
Good night.